what is the main purpose of visit to Rwanda? What does it mean?
Armenia and Rwanda, I think we have a very enormous potential of working together for the two peoples, for the two countries. We have a shared history of tragedy and the experience of overcoming and defeating that burden of loss and the burden of an enormous crime. We are working with Rwanda together on the genocide prevention at the international level. From our experience, the experience of our peoples, we know that if you do not address that problem, if you do not fight that heinous crime, it will haunt generations. It haunts the generations of our people because that the depth of that tragedy is completely wrong. So we need to work together, and we, together with Rwanda, Armenia and Rwanda, have been great contributors, important contributors to the international effort to prevent genocides, to prevent mass atrocities, to prevent crimes against humanity, and we're very keen to work together, continue working together. Also, we're all countries which have an enormous potential and an enormous record of development, and I think we have many commonalities in this. We have our experience in which smart development takes the lead in the context and in the way in which we try to expand and strengthen the wealth of the people, the development of our country. And we have been seeing how interesting the development in Rwanda is taking place, and the way in which you are putting emphasis on smart development, that your country is, and the president of Rwanda, President Kagame, is in the lead of initiating Smart Africa Center and smart development in Africa. It has generated enormous interest in Armenia. We do a lot in Armenia on this. We have a very big, very important development of this sector, innovation, smart solutions, IT solutions, innovation and creative education, giving the young generation the opportunity to untap their potential and their talent. We have generated many interesting examples and good experience, and you have your experience, and we're very keen to build good cooperation between our two nations, especially in this field. There are many other areas in which we can cooperate, and we're very keen to do that as well. My visit is very full of interesting and important meetings. I had just meeting with in the Parliament with the Speaker and Deputy Speakers, and we had an interesting discussion. I'm very keen for the rest of my program. It will include both. Part of the program will be about discussing together the way in which we work towards in the human rights field and in the field of preventing genocides and mass atrocities, and also my visit will also be focusing on the cooperation for development for the people of Armenia and the people of Rwanda. And of course, a very important part of my visit is about, of course, 7th of April. I came here on behalf of the people and the government of Armenia to stand in solidarity with the government and people of Rwanda to commemorate the 25th anniversary of the genocide on the 7th of April. And this is, of course, the absolute mark of the visit, and the dates of the visit was particularly focused on the 7th of April. So this is what I'm here for, and I very much hope that we already have good record of working together. We are members of La Francophonie. We were very happy to welcome the Francophonie family in Armenia in October at the summit of Yerevan. This is an important platform, a very useful platform of cooperation, with a strong potential, and it was a platform which brought also our people and our countries together. And we were very glad that we could work also with the new Secretary General, whose election has taken place in Yerevan. It took place during the summit, and my very good friend and a wonderful person, Madame Louise Mushikiwabo, who is the Secretary General of La Francophonie, was elected in Yerevan, and she's also a very important conduit of friendship between our peoples, and then sort of course very keen to discuss the various platforms of cooperation that we can utilize for Rwanda and for Armenia bilaterally through multilateral platforms. Francophonie is one such platform. I also believe that other multilateral platforms, whether it is the United Nations, through the African Union, through the Eurasia Economic Union, through other platforms in which we're members, platforms of integration and cooperation, we can strengthen the cooperation bilaterally between Armenia and Rwanda. And I'm a strong believer, very strong believer in the huge potential that Armenia and Rwanda have for working together towards the empowerment and development of our nations, our people. And I'm very keen to develop that agenda with my partners here in Kigali. This is what I'm here for.
Yeah, thank you. But there are various figures which are released talking about how many people were killed during the genocide against Armenians. Some say it's 1.5 million,
yes.
Others from 800,000 to 1.8 million. We'd like to know what is the right figure, and when was the genocide?
The genocide, the Armenian genocide of 1915, you see, it was 105 years ago, the 1915 genocide of the Armenians, when the Ottoman Empire, when it was a premeditated, planned extermination of a whole nation on the grounds of their national identity. It was the case which was examined by the scholars and lawyers, specifically the founder and the author of the Genocide Convention, Mr. Raphael Lemkin, has spent all his career in examining this phenomenon and understanding why these things happen. And then he later came with the term genocide. He made the legal point of it. The legal term genocide was developed, and the international community adopted the Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide in 1948. And the Armenian genocide was very much the source of examination, why and how these things can happen. And what is most disturbing, there are several things. That, first of all, we fail to recognize the depth of that crime. We fail to recognize the damage over generations when justice is denied. The denial of genocide, the denial of justice haunts generations. There are over 5 generations now who have been survivors or descendants of the survivors of the genocide. And that denial of justice still haunts them. The young people still cannot overcome this because you cannot deny justice to a human being. That's the big lesson. The other lesson is that, we have seen the depth of the calamity that genocide brings. It happened to the Armenians, the Holocaust, the Rwandan genocide, other examples. Every time we stand in the international community and we say never again, but it is not enough, because we say never again and we ask ourselves the question, are we serious? Is it hollow? Have we been doing enough? Are we paying attention to the signs of genocidal tendencies which can be detected early? Have we been acting early to prevent it, or we just let it go to face the calamity and then reflect on it and react to it? This is a very important, very difficult lessons that we all have been collectively learning. And it is with this, philosophy, with this understanding and the experience of a whole nation, we the Armenians, that we contribute to the prevention of genocide internationally. We believe genocides can be detected at an early phase. We believe the signs can be seen at an early phase, and it is an obligation for the nations, first of all, for the governments, first of all, and the international community to react collectively to early signs, never to let it come to a point when the whole system breaks down. It's a breakdown of a system. And here, again, as I'm saying, we need to act and work collectively. There is a duty for the international community to act collectively. We Armenians, we are still denied the genocide, the recognition of the genocide, and we consider ourselves victors, because 100 years ago we were supposed to be wiped out of the face of this earth, but today we are confident people, proud and strong about their identity, their history and their civilization, thriving communities all over the world, a nation state, a country, developing and confident, and this is our answer to what was to be meant to be total extermination of our people. But the other important thing is that denying genocide, denying the recognition of the genocide, denial is a very, very painful thing. It haunts generations.
Yeah, thank you for such information. Really.